Hello, it's me, Mr. Hair, and let's look today at multiplying by tens as we begin lesson 1. Rita took 20 pictures at the zoo. She printed out the pictures so that each of her 25 students could have a copy. How many pictures did Miss Rita print? So what we're trying to find is 25 times 20. Couple ways to do this. One of these is to use properties of multiplication. So we know we could think of 20 as what times 10? You could go ahead and pause the video here and see if you can come up with the answer. Did you come up with 2 times 10? Yes, 2 times 10 is 20. That's another way to think of 20. So we could think of 25 times 20 as 25 times 2 times 10. We can move the parentheses and do these in any order because of the associative property, which means we can change the grouping of the numbers. So 25 times 2 is 50, and then we just have 50 times 10, and we've seen this before. It's 500. You've used the associative property of multiplication. That's when you have more than 2 factors being multiplied. So Miss Rita printed 500 pictures. All right, another way is actually just to stack the numbers up. And because there's a 0 here, it's the pretty simple operation. 0 times 25. So 0 ones times 25 is 0. Now, when there's not a 0 here, it changes how we would do this. But since we have a 0 here, we can just say 0 times the whole 25 is 0. And then we just multiply these two tens. 2 tens times 25 is 50 tens. So we had 0 ones and 50 tens, which looks a lot like 500 because it is 500. All right, so next what I'd like you to do is we're going to disregard this practice problem at the top, but I would like you to try multiplying this either of those two ways. So let's try one each together, and then we'll try one on our own and check our work. So first we could think of this as, oh, well, that one's rather simple. So let's do it the way we just did. So let's think of 36 times 10. The 0 times 36 is 0. And 1 times 36 tens is 110 times 36 is 36 tens, so 360. Now let's try this one and use that associative property. So 53 times what times 10? What times 10 equals 30? Well, 3. Now let's move those parentheses and say 53 times 3 times 10. Now I might actually need to stack those numbers up and say 53 times 3, that's 9, that's 15. So now we have 159 times 10, should be 1,590. All right, now I want you to have a try on these two, and then after you've tried it, check your work against the answers. Hey, it's Mr. Wheeler. Mr. Hair actually had to go to the bathroom, so I'm just going to finish this lesson up here. So he had left it for you to try ththese on your own, and maybe you did. I hope you did. Now let's just check your work and see if your answers match mine. Okay, so what I did here was I said 0 times 42 leaves 0 ones, right? And then I've got 2 tens times 42. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 2 times 4 is 8. So I ended up with 840. Is that what you came up with? And here I've got 0 tens times 64 leaves me just with 0, or 0 ones, rather, times 64. Leaves me with no ones. And now as I multiply the tens, I've got 4 tens times 4 ones, which is 16 tens. And then I regroup that 1 up there, and then I say 6 times 4 is 24, plus that 1 is 25, and that looks very familiar. All right, and so then just follow the instructions for today's assignment, which might be a little bit longer as we practice this new skill.